Hello everyone and welcome to my video guide about wave management. Today we will go over what types of wave management tactics there are, how to do each one of them, the pros and cons, and how to utilize them. So let's get started. So, why is it important to be able to manage your waves properly? You start having a much better control of your lane, controlling or influencing what your opponent does, and forcing them to play in such a way that benefits you the most and them the least, putting yourself as frequently as possible in the most beneficial spot. All of this will allow you to win your lanes in a much higher rate, make the games easier for you, and help you get such a lead that will make the rest of the game easier for yourself, carrying much more often. Remember, consistent pressure is what makes your opponents make mistakes, and with proper wave management, consistent pressure is what you apply. So let's get in the types of wave tactics. There are three. The first one is fast pushing, second one is freezing, and third one is slow pushing. Let's start with fast pushing. What does that look like? You actively start damaging your opponent's wave and get your wave at their tower as fast as possible. The times you would like to fast push the wave could be for many reasons. For example, you want to be over at a fight first that is happening around or close to your lane. You suspect that you might be getting ganked anytime soon. You're looking to reset because you had a lot of gold to spend. Denying minions from your opponent when he is missing from lane. Maybe he has recalled and made a roam somewhere on the map, which can also score you a tower plate or two, depends on the situation. Now, the downsides of fast pushing are the following. You get very little to no pressure on your opponent if you fast push all the time. You might also be funneling free farm for him. For example, if you play against a Victor mid lane, fast pushing waves to him all the time denies you from being able to abuse his weak early game. Getting to the second wave tactic, freezing. What does freezing look like? You allow your wave to be on a disadvantage, at about 3 to 5 minions depending on the HP that they have and what exactly the two waves meet, having the wave outside your tower range and keeping it there. You can also be looking to crush your wave on your opponent's tower, which will result into one of three things. The wave is going to slow push back to your side of the lane, allowing you to create a freeze. Their wave crashing on your tower, which results into you losing a little to no minions, or the waves resetting and meeting in the middle of the lane just like they do level 1, being in a neutral spot. The times you will be looking to freeze is when you do not have to be anywhere else on the map, to deny minions and to create a lead this way. When you play against a champion that has a stronger early game than you, or even when they are weaker during the early game so you can keep yourself safe from ganks. Be able to set up ganks for your jungler in a very easy way, have enough space to chase down your opponents, going for an extended trade, possibly to poke him or her down while they try to crash their wave on your tower, or even to go for short burst trades. All of this is dependent on the matchup that you will be playing. One thing to be careful about is that their wave will be bigger than yours, so if you decide to go in for a trade, you'll have to keep that in mind. Keeping it in mind, if your opponent will not be able to break the freeze, they will most likely call their jungler, which is beneficial for you once again, since you already denied a ton of farm and they get to share XP and gold, which puts you even further ahead while releasing pressure from the rest of your teammates knowing where the enemy jungler is. The downside of freezing is the following. Your opponent will be able to move around the map without you being able to follow up, so make sure to let your teammates know through chat, pings, or both about your missing laner. But there are times as well when you should stop looking to freeze. That will be dependent on the lane that you play. For example, for top lane, you generally will have no issue freezing for quite some time. So let's say level 9 to 11, since top is usually its own little island. For mid lane, around level 7 to 8, since majority of the champions have a great long range wave clear, and up to that point they will most likely have items which will give them the stats that they need to clear the waves. For bot will be at level 6 because you can get Dove having to play against most likely 3 champions with 3 ultimates. All of those rules are just general. The best thing to do is to be as adaptable as possible to each game and do whatever is the best thing. And finally, slow pushing. That is the most powerful out of all 3 wave tactics that we have in League. What does a slow push look like? Well, as it is quite self-explanatory, you are slowly pushing the wave towards your opponent's side. You usually do that by creating a wave advantage and then just last hitting your opponent's minions, creating a bigger wave. This can help with denying minions from your opponent because you have a bigger wave, so if they fight you, they are most likely to lose. It helps as well with denying ganks from the enemy jungler, or if they decide to gank you, the chance of you winning the 1v2 is higher. Slow pushing and creating the big wave helps with creating a dive opportunity with your jungler. Once you get the wave to crash under the tower and the dive is not doable, you can also be looking for the following things. Either getting a clean recall, which will result into a slow push towards your side, allowing you to come back to lane with an item advantage, getting a freeze, or if the wave crashes on your tower, for you to lose very few to no minions. If you will not be looking for a recall, you can be utilizing this time that the wave is winning for you to make a roam. The roam can be used for different purposes, like invading the enemy jungler, to steal camps or kill the enemy jungler, to make a roam towards another lane, to get a honey fruit from the river for HP and mana, or to do Drake or Rift, or to put down some vision. Now that we have covered everything, remember that it is important to be as adaptable as possible and go through trial and error so you'll be able to identify each situation and make the best decision possible. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. If you have any suggestions for new videos, please let me know. If you have any questions regarding this video, please make sure to comment below and I will make sure to come back to you as soon as I can. Until next time, take care. Bye bye.
Moving too fast, life moving in slow-mo. I'm a god, but I actually don't know. Homie, better put your pride aside. I'm a Benz, get more like a Volvo. Your best stuff looks like my words. Synapses, fire, and burst. Got the whole crew with me, about to do damage. You know we ain't average. I ain't gonna say this again, but